This is your restyled 2020 Mitsubishi RVR. For those of you who don't know, myself, until I looked it up, RVR stands for a recreation vehicle runner. Let's go Quirks, Perks, and Irks. So everyone gets LED headlights and LED day runners. Really cool here is they put the turn signals in this little cluster of four. So turn signals up top, fog lights at the bottom. Little too much chrome for my liking. Up front, you have the little curve right there and the curve right there. And this isn't quite chrome, but it's still kind of silvery gray, depending on where in the world you are and what you call it. Not a bad looking front end. Just if they even replace the chrome with black or even something body colored, I think that'd be a little nicer touch. Moving around the side, not a bad look overall. It's kind of looks like the old Tucson's, just longer hood and shorter back. Take a look at the rims. Nice, simple design. And yes, I got the logo straight up on the first try. I got your black cladding there. This is an Irk for me. It doesn't do anything. Just get rid of it. And it's chrome. A little too much chrome. Just doesn't do it for me. Nice big turn signals integrated into the side mirrors. We'll give you a good look at the side profile as soon as I get in frame. All right, there it is. Again, not a bad looking vehicle. I kind of like the slope. Let me get my hand out of the way. Sorry. I like the slope of the rear. Not too bad. Gas tank on the driver's side. So not too bad. Passable marks for the front and the side. Taking a look at the rear, this reminds me of the Thor's hammer thing the Volvo does. It's that and it's that. Full marks, orange turn signal. Definitely a perk. Oh, let me run back here for a sec. You got the nice kind of quad lights there. Just look their own. They are their own individual little bulbs, so that's a nice touch there. You get the RVR logo and the AWC for all-wheel control. Tailpipes, not visible, but there is one on that side. Let's take a quick look in the trunk. Oh, backup camera is off to the left. I would have rather it be centered somehow. So there's your trunk space. Seats go down fairly easily. And your spare tire is hidden right under there. You don't get much storage, but you do get a little bit of that there and a little bit of this over here. So one handle, I would have liked two, but I'm not going to nitpick too much. So there it is, outside look 2020 Mitsubishi RVR. You can tell by everything you see here, it snowed a couple of days ago and now it's melting. So it's just absolutely terrible. I just got the car washed. So I think this is the cleanest it's been since I've got it. There's an SO, see that little red thing there? So I just literally drove to the closest parking lot. Anyways, enough rambling. Let's take a look at the inside 2020 Mitsubishi RVR. All right, inside look, starting with the rear seats. Nice red stitching. I'll go over trim levels once I get to the front seat, but taking the seats down, so easy. Push down, and there's like this whole part to hold on to back here. Definitely easy to do with one hand. Down it goes. Doesn't quite fold flat, like there's a bit of an incline, but for the most part, it's flat-ish. So you can go to IKEA and get all your Swedish flat packed furniture. Open that up, couple of cup holders. No heated rear seats. Anyways, there's a look at the front. And speaking of the front, close her up and let's jump on in. All right, lots to go through. So let's get started with, let's put the four ways off. Don't need that. Okay, steering wheel is nice except for this panel black nonsense. I don't like it because the steering wheel is not heated, and if I don't have my gloves on or for whatever reason, I'm touching something that's cold, so I don't like that. But it's weird because it's only here, scoops around here, there's that little thing there, missed opportunity for branding. They could have easily put that logo down there as well. So don't like that part. Aside from that, steering wheel feels nice and fine. I noticed the four ways were not off, now they are off. Same standard stuff. I really like this. It's so simple. It's so old school that, there's no guessing. Up for volume to turn it up, down for down, and left to right to scroll through your channels. Nice and easy. This is a little weird because it's reflective. So whenever I look down, like right now the camera's at my eye level. So if I look down, just to see what's happening down there, I always see myself. So a little peculiar. Cruise control, blank panel switch, dislike. 3 out of 4 blank panel switches. 75%, not really a big fan of that. Let's get to this part. So 2 analogs, 1 digital in the middle, and you control it all through the info button. And I like that it's only 1 button. So it's 1 button. I think I can get them both in there. So trip A, trip B, how much till empty. I don't like it that it's denominations of 10. Subaru does that. I don't like it they do it. I don't like it that Mitsubishi does it. Give me the exact number. Anyways, my average is 11 liters per 100 kilometers. And the cool thing is I'm not going to reset it now. I'll reset the average kilometer or average speed. And all you do is you got to be careful with it though, right? So to reset it, you got to hold down on it, but you got to be pretty quick on it too. I don't know why it's not resetting. There we go. So cool system there. Here's something that's dramatically over-engineered. It's the fog lights, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of writing just to do one thing. It's two things, on, off. But it's weird. So right now you can see the fog lights are on. So I'm going to dip it down and that puts it off. But like it's over-engineered, right? It's a push up, release, set, push down, release, and comes back, instead of like something like this where it's just you set it and forget it. Pardon the funny Ron Popeil moment, but I think that's way over-engineered. Didn't have to be that complicated. Dials are nice and easy, big to read, nice and big and easy to read. Gets all your information, standard stuff. And that is your blind spot display. Where is it? Right, your blind spot monitor. So basically, it's off, it's on, it's off, it's on. Pretty standard stuff. The door feels a little thin as far as kind of the closing and pushing of it, or closing and not slamming, but it doesn't feel as sturdy. And I'm kind of pulling on it. You can kind of see it move a little bit. So a bit of an irk there. Standard stuff for your mirrors there. Start stop button, a little high, higher than I'm used to. I'm used to it kind of being down here, but you know, I'm not going to take any points away from them there. 8-inch screen. It's great because it's so easy to use. And here's a perk. It doesn't stop down there. It actually, you know, you touch the bottom black part that's not the same color as the screen, and you can see it pretty clearly here. So I like that Mitsubishi's done it, that it's the main screen and a little bit of an extender down below. Here's a small irk since we're with the screen. I'm going to put the car in reverse, so you can see how how dark the backup camera is. And that's because the lights are on. I'm going to put the lights off and it brightens right up. So lights off, lights on, lights off, lights on. Just a bit of a weird thing there. I understand the contrast of it, but just, I don't know, like it's weird. Like in daylight, if it's bright, I don't want my screen to be dark if my lights are on. FYI, my lights are always on. Just that's the way I was raised to drive. Old school HVAC stuff. Yeah, whatever, no big deal. Easier to see, easier to control, less moving parts, less to break. So I like that. We put that off. Little weird that the auto is below off, right? So if I'm here, I want to put it off. A few times I've kind of just twisted it and it's gone to auto, and I've got the car heated up accidentally. So a little peculiar there. Heated seats, strange thing here. High is orange, low is green. Little over-engineered because they could have just kept it orange, but my 2 cents on that. A little bit of storage, goes fairly deep, maybe like most of my hand, so not too bad. There's your 4-wheel drive. So I'm going to push it 3 times. I'll put you back up here for a sec. So right now, 4-wheel drive auto, 4-wheel drive lock, and front-wheel drive. They should have called that AWC to stick with their branding instead of 4-wheel drive all-wheel control. It's my 2 cents. Yes, there's a snow brush because, as you can see from all that snow out there, it is winter. Here's an Irk. It's a big Irk. The gear shifter is, again, to me, over-engineered. Just take a listen. It's so clunky. I'm going to take it from park. I'm going to run it into drive. All right, like it's, sorry, I think a camera, let me try that again. It'll steady your hand. So right, down, left, down, and then left again. Just, it sounds clunky and weird. Just, I'll let you take a listen again. Hopefully it can come through. I've got a microphone on me, but take a listen. I don't know, hearing that every single time, just, not the greatest. And you have your low mode, so you go back into drive, then over, and then into low. I got a bit of a puzzle to get there. You got your paddle shifters, yes, to CVT, but you can still run up and down. There's your plus on the right, negative on the left. Aside from that, not a bad interior. Don't care for that piano black or that piano black or that piano black. Just, it's not my thing. Perk, old school parking brake. Really like that. Very nice touch done there. There is no sunroof on this trim. Actually, out of the 6 trims, only the top trim has it, and it's a fixed panoramic roof. I'm going to back out of the car for a second, just show you the seats. I forgot to do that right off the get-go. Not bad for your thigh bolsters, pretty good for your side bolsters, and the seats are generally comfortable. I like the red stitching, and how it's kind of that consistent double stitching pattern there and there, and all the way throughout. I'll show you the back seats once more so you can see the red stitching. Not for that person in the middle, but still have the red stitching nonetheless. All right, I think that's going to wrap up the outside. Oh, no navigation, but you do get CarPlay and Android Auto. And as far as digging through the controls, it's a nice responsive screen, and can't really ask for much more than that. 8 inches is a good size as far as what you see visually, and there's not a lot of guesswork until you start really diving in and you get some of the smaller controls here. But as far as scrolling up, scrolling down, minimal touches get you maximum results. Sorry, the camera's on an angle there. All right, that's going to wrap up the inside. Oh, one other weird and quirky thing. There's a quality control thing there, and I don't muck around with anything on the inside of cars that are media cars. So for the entire 9 days I've had the car, I've always come back to it and like, oh no, I got a ticket for something. And nope, just Mitsubishi's quality control sticker. Anyways, let's wrap up with a look here at the logo, get my camera and my face out of there, and be back with the drive portion. 2020 Mitsubishi RVR. 2 quick things I missed first time around. Let's do them now. High beams. A gentle touch gets it flashing, and a hard one keeps it, and it's right there. Put them off. So gentle pull forward, hard pull keeps them on. That's weird because you're supposed to forwards, backwards, but Mitsubishi does it where it's a soft touch and that, so a little weird. And then let's take a look at the rear wiper. Fluid, intermittent, off, and fluid. Usually there's off, intermittent, and on, and not the 2 disbursements of fluid. A little weird there. Anyway, my 2 cents on that. All right, on to the drive portion. Let's do the drive. 2020 Mitsubishi RVR. There are 2 engine choices. I'm in the SEL AWC, which is second from the top, and that gets me the 2.4 liter inline 4, 168 horsepower, 167 pound-feet of torque. If you go for some of the lower trims, you will get the 2.0 liter inline 4, and that has 148 horsepower, 145 pound-feet of torque. So let's focus on this one since that's what I'm driving. It's not particularly fast, not slow, just middle ground as far as engines in this class go. For me, anyway, I didn't notice a struggle getting up to speeds, but because it's got the CVT, you get a bit of the whininess in there. And that's not a shot against Mitsubishi at all. Every single CVT has that, and that's just the trade-off that you get for a CVT versus traditional transmission. So you have to go top jam to get all the good stuff. And I would have thought with this one being second from the top, I would have gotten a little more like the panoramic sunroof, fixed or not. I was expecting a little more on the safety side. I have rear cross traffic alert and I have blind spot monitoring, but that's really it for active safety. I will put a list up on that side of the screen with all of the safety features you can only get on the top trim GT AWC. I've done about almost 1,000 kilometers and it's been pretty comfortable. I'll give Mitsubishi full marks there for nice, comfortable seats. Doesn't matter that they're not cooled seats, whatever, no big deal. But seating position is great as far as being able to, for me, if you guys don't know, guys or girls, sorry, don't know, I've got a very short upper body. I've got very long legs, so I sit all the way back and all the way up. So with that, I got great seating position out of the 2020 RVR. And there's not really a lot of fatigue that I've noticed from sitting in traffic in good old Mississauga and Toronto and surrounding areas. Steering wheel it feels nice. Again, I don't care for that plastic or piano black plastic trim on the bottom half of the wheel. It just seems a little weird. I would have rather them not do it at all. Sound system is good. Not as good as the Rockford, I believe it's the Rockford Fosgate again, only on the top trim. And at mid-30s for the top trim, I'm not sure I would opt for that. I don't know if I'd opt for this if I was speccing out an RVR for myself. 30 grand, it's a lot of money for something that I would have liked to have seen a little more car out of. But again, it's tough out there. You know, there's tons of competitors, and you know, if you get what you pay for on one hand, but at the same time, some of their competitors are offering a little more value for a little less on the monthly payment side. So that's kind of just my initial thought there. I think it goes for, I'll put the figures on that side of the screen. I'll put all 6 trim models with their corresponding prices. Handling and cornering and turning, not bad. It's respectable. It's got a lower center of gravity than some of the other ones. So I think that definitely helps as far as keeping it planted. What I do love, and I will give Mitsubishi full marks for 8 days a week, 25 hours a day, is their all-wheel control. It snowed the last couple of days, and just putting it in 4-wheel drive lock made a world of difference. I didn't slip, I didn't slide. I had thorough control all the way through, and that's where Mitsubishi is going to shine with this, because really it's only the Crosstrek from Subaru that has their real-time all-wheel drive, symmetrical all-wheel drive. So the fact that Mitsubishi gives you 3 options between the front-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive auto, and 4-wheel drive lock, all under your one finger that pushes a button, I think that's a very smart move by them. Very well done. Good job, Mitsubishi. Rear seats, not bad. On par with everybody else except for that person in the middle. Storage space, I will put figures there as well for your figures with the seats up as well as the seats down. Everything else about it, there's nothing wrong with the car. SUV, crossover, CUV, call it whatever you want. I guess my only, there's small things I'm going to nitpick on, because that's what you do when you review a car. Not every car is going to be perfect. I don't care for the chrome on the outside. I don't care for the fog light activation switch. I don't like the piano black. These are just cosmetic things. All right, there's still a lot to like about the 2020 RVR. And yes, it's the same engine that they've used from the previous model. Now, interestingly, it's still the 3rd generation. It's not 4th generation. They've just done a major overhaul on it, but not enough to call it 4th gen. If I can dig up a picture of the 2019 RVR, I will tag it there, just so you can see what it looks like, with before and after. A little irk for me is I'm paying $30,000 for the second from the top trim, and it's manual seats, forwards, backwards, up and down, and for the seat back to go like that. So not crazy about that part of it. Again, you got to go to the top trim GT to get everything that you can possibly get. I would have liked to have seen a few more options again at this trim level. But I don't make cars, but yeah, that's that. Anyway, the review is running a little bit on the longer side. I try and keep these a little on the shorter side, but lots to talk about. One of their queered, that's quirky and weird together. Their trim names are a little peculiar because it's ES front wheel drive, ES all wheel control, and then SE. So it's ES and SE, and that can be a little confusing for some people. Anyway, it's my 2 cents on that as I was doing my research on the vehicle. That's going to wrap it up for the 2020 Mitsubishi RVR. Lots of competition out there, from Toyota's CHR to Honda's HRV. Ford's got the EcoSport, which is another peculiar vehicle. I'm not sure why or how I'm supposed to pronounce that. I think I'm supposed to pronounce it EcoSport. Anyways, this is not a Ford review. So I'm going to pull the car over, come to a safe and complete stop. So the camera dropped, and I'm going to do the ending properly. I was going to keep the old ending in where I just dragged the phone off the ground, but Mitsubishi is worth more than that to me. So thank you so much for watching 2020 Mitsubishi RVR. If you like what I do, feel free to subscribe and click the notification bell so you can be alerted to the next time my videos pop up. And again, thank you. Any questions you have on the 2020 RVR, let me know, and I will do my best to answer them. Sorry, someone's coming behind me. There you can see them. And I will do my best to answer them as soon as possible. All right, I'll be back sooner than later with my next review.